All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first Product University of this year. I'm going to let some people trickle in. We just wrapped up our April monthly rundown. Back-to-back calls. We are booked and busy. So many of you were in attendance of that call. So I want to allow you to now transition over. But in the meantime, I am happy to, of course, introduce myself and introduce Product University. So Product University is something that we host a couple of times a year. We do it a little bit randomly, but it's also kind of structured that we'll have one typically in the spring, one in the fall, and one towards the end of the year in the winter. Now, Product University is much different to our Tradition Meets Innovation calls. The Tradition Meets Innovation calls are kind of, on a specific topic. Maybe it's a product or it's about self-care, but we are going in depth with these calls. We're going through the skin physiology, your hair physiology. We'll go through the different products and how you can create your own Riman ritual based on your skin type. All of that is in store for you in these next 8 weeks. So you registered, of course, that is how you are attending today, and Zoom provided you with a unique link to enter this Zoom. Keep using that unique link to gain recognition of your attendance. If you attend all 8 sessions, we of course will invite you to cross the stage at our convention in Las Vegas for recognition. So if ever you have a day that you need to miss or you happen to miss, I am not a strict teacher. Just feel free to email me and I will manually count you as attending. But otherwise, our system is quite basic. It merely recognizes an email, pulls it, and sees if it's there for all 8 sessions to thusly select your name. So if there's any concern that you weren't available or you might not have shown as attending, please feel free to reach out. But I cannot believe the amount of you that registered. You had over 800 people register and join us today, and that is an amazing honor for me, especially because we are right after the monthly rundown. It's hours of your time. It is part of your night or your morning, depending on where you're calling in from. So I greatly respect this and appreciate it coming from you that you want to be with me today and to better your understanding of your self-care and of your skincare. I already am seeing names in the chat that have attended before, have attended multiple times before. Thank you so much for coming yet again. Of course, we have new stuff in store now. We have new products, we have new kits, so many new things we can talk about. But for those of you that are new, thank you. Thank you for joining us. This is just the beginning of your journey. But without further ado, let's get into some content. No, let's go over our first session of Product University. All right. Oops, sharing my own screen. There we go. All right. So before we begin, one of the cool things about you all just locking in, you're going to be with me every Wednesday for the next 8 weeks, is that you might sometimes be some of the first people to hear about unique promotions or launches because we need a platform to announce these promotions or launches. And this call happens weekly. So that is an instance today that we are having kind of a unique look, just only for those that are on this call. We are talking about our product of the month. And for those of you that might recognize this, this is a thing we are planning to do monthly, highlighting a specific product, whether new or pre-existing, just kind of re-emphasizing its importance in your routine, its key ingredients, and kind of really allowing you to have something to focus on and to share during the month. So we get to talk about that today. The monthly rundown was a big and chunky deck, so we have time today to go through it in Product University instead. So the product of the month this time around is actually a new product, and it's going to be our Radiant Sum Essence. Now, because this is a new product, there's so much in store for it, but sometimes with product of the month, there might be some deals associated or some fun things with it. So always look forward to the next product of the month. But what's unique about this one is that it is available a la carte purchase today, and the essence is amazing. It's a fantastic product. Now, many of you might know if you went to convention or if you watched my TMI call, the Tradition Meets Innovation call on the new Radiance and products, this product is microfluidized, 100% nanoliposomal, but not just once was it run through the microfluidizer processor. It was microfluidized 4 times through. This creates, of course, flexible liposomes that allow for not only an enhanced absorption of the products, but a specific targeted efficacy of the ingredients it contains. With the essence, there is 100 billion particles for a singular drop of the essence, just microscopic power with macroscopic impact for your skin. Key ingredients focus on our giant byung pool. We have the byung pool callosome for antioxidant care. We have the Centellac GT, which is a combination of lactobacillus ferment, centella, of course, our giant byung pool, and Jeju camellia flower for all the different anti-aging claims you might be looking for. The reduction in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, the reduction in the appearance of hyperpigmentation, and beyond. But unique to the essence is two additional ingredients. This is Chronoglow and it's also Glyco Natural. Now, Chronoglow is a fantastic ingredient and it's inspired by and derived from what's known as the resurrection plant. This is a plant that's found typically in the desert and it is essentially able to downregulate its metabolism in times of severe drought, essentially just shutting off its basic needs, just keeping the fundamentality of being alive. But upon first rain, it resurrects, it reactivates its metabolism, sucks up that rain, and begins its processes again. And so scientists used epigenetics and biomimicry to understand these heritable traits and natural selection of how this was able to come to be the way it is today and applied that to a skincare ingredient. So not only does this ingredient help protect the skin against oxidation and cell senescence, which is cellular death, it also can help in the increased production of collagen, specifically types 6 and 16, and reduce the appearance of hyperpigmentation. That Glyco Natural is equally as profound in its performance, also a natural extract, but is designed for mature, stressed, or tired skin. Not only does it also impart oxidation protection, but it also has blue light protection, and it too can reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles and hyperpigmentation. So, lots of stuff with this essence, but it is our product of the month, so much more in store about talking of it. We'll see it on social, but you are the first people that get to hear this little piece of knowledge. But let's transition to what you are here for today. Now, I did want to preface before starting today's call that with the Product University calls, they'll typically last from anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. For example, this call and session 8, they're typically a little shorter. We're just doing a very basic overview of what's in store. But when we dive deep, when we talk about the physiologies, when we talk about your gut and your microbiome for the life-ending products, they'll be a little longer. And if ever you need to hop off, you need to get dinner, you're ready to go to sleep, there is no issue with that. You will still have been recorded as attending, and you can always ask for a recording after. But today's session starts us off very healthily and very potently, and that's the overview of the Riman product philosophy. Really, there is no foundation to the products if they don't have a powerful philosophy behind them that establishes them as unique in an oversaturated industry that is personal care. And these product values also allow us to maintain our responsibility as a brand and as a manufacturer to continue prioritizing you and these specific values every single time we create a product. So for a basic overview, we have 5 main product values that govern all of our product development. The first is that we are deeply rooted in that K-beauty tradition. Our second, that we are backed by science, that innovation. And thirdly, we look towards sustainable sourcing, both in our packaging and even raw material sourcing. Our fourth product value is that we aim to be both simple and holistic. And the fifth is that we promise a difference you'll love. So we start, of course, first with our rooted in tradition, which all begins with our founder and CEO, our chairman, Mr. On. Now, Mr. On had 25 years in the industry, which that was a few years ago that he had told me that. So it's probably approaching about 30 years now in the industry. And he had specifically attended and was exploring a world direct sales competition in the early 2000s. And he was looking at the products that were offered and the brands that were touting themselves as unique and a great opportunity, and he was uninspired. He thought that there was a gap that he could fill. And after thinking of this and knowing that generally he knew he could create better, he had gone home and he was saying goodnight to his children. And he specifically went to kiss his daughter's cheeks. And he looked and he said, "Look at this youthful radiance on my daughter. It is so beautiful. It is so refreshing. Why do we have to lose this as we age?" And that question, that thinking, birthed ICD or Incelderm, which was initially our name. And so he dreamed up of a brand that was focused on efficacy and safety, the discovery of youthful cells, and that created ICD. So So as you can see here, the ICD stands for intracellular dermatology. So we are looking at the cellular level. How can your products impact the health of your cells, the basic function, the fundamentality of them to bring all the aesthetic benefits you typically look for in your skincare? Now, with this in mind, when we approach our origin as a K-beauty brand, there's a lot of positive connotations that come with it. K-beauty is trending, and we're here to kind of lean into that because it brings those positive connotations, but also to argue that it's not a trend. It's a tradition. It's a daily lifestyle of self-care. Now, because of those positive connotations, you get an immediate familiarity with Riman. You have those ancient roots and the stories to be told, stories that you can connect to and create your own. But there's also a significant staying power within the market. Those who purchase K-beauty, roughly 70% of them return to purchase K-beauty again. Most importantly, it's the expectation of undeniable results of that Korean glass skin. All of this considered, and to obtain that glass skin, there is a different formulation approach in K-beauty in comparison to Western beauty brands. We are focusing on that proactive protection and prevention of the skin rather than problem solving. We want to work with its health instead of against presenting issues, such that those issues don't occur to begin with. In this day and age, we are spoiled by immediacy. I just ordered something on Amazon and I can expect it on my doorstep when I get home today. But with skincare, it's important you play the long game. Oftentimes, when you look for quick fixes or band-aids to address a specific issue, it's only treating the surface, but we are looking at those fundamentals, hydration, protection, to really ensure that your health stays and it comes with an immediate radiance. Now, to do so, we prioritize gentler ingredients, and if we do employ harsh actives, we keep them to a lower concentration to maintain your skin's integrity, but also to allow us to offer a specific product line to multiple different skin types and demographics. All of this considered, we get a huge concept of K-beauty in the practice of a multi-step ritual. Staying consistent, layering these products and layering these ingredients is how you bring about that innate radiance that stays long term. Now, with the understanding of the K-beauty approach, of course, there is science involved. We are formulating, and that brings us to our second product value of being backed by science. Science is a cornerstone for Riman, and it is largely harnessed by our Ask company. Now, Ask company is owned by Chairman On. It was founded within Riman, and it oversees the various different procedures and business practices of Riman. But part of Ask Company is Ask Base and Ask Labs. These are our premier research centers, our science centers at the heart of Riman. The naming of all these companies depends, of course, on that word ask. We often say that the ask will find the answer. And so this romantically kind of emphasizes the beauty behind creating hypotheses, asking questions, wondering what something might be or why something may be that way, finding the answer to that, and starting the process again. There is always room for discovery. For generations and generations, we'll never come to a moment in which we think we know everything. And if you do, there is so much more for you to know. You know nothing. But I think that was someone's quote. But anyways, that all in mind, we really want to look towards discovering uniqueness to create those products that stand apart from other products in the industry. Now, we look specifically at Ask Base as our manufacturing and processing plant, on Jeju Island. And this really is where we set forth to constantly explore different bioactive compounds with specificity in Jeju sourcing, kind of looking at the uniqueness of those heritage ingredients, those natural products natural plants and their extracts. And so Ask Base is really looking to emphasize Jeju's importance. And as you can see here, Ask Base came to be the way it is today after many years of development. We initially had named it Ester Bio, and that was back in 2019. And we began producing our Byungpool leaf water at Ask Base in 2021. We later then moved to Ask Base and Jeju Island, which was in 2022. And since then, we have remained on Jeju, continuing to produce the giant Byungpool and so much more. So with Ask Base, we are looking towards the raw material sourcing and manufacturing of a lot of different natural extracts we have in our products, namely the giant byungpul or the lava byungpul water extract, which is those giant byungpul leaves extracted with the Jeju lava energy water. But we also produce soapberry, mugwort, notably the camellia seed oil, the camellia flower extract, various different natural ingredients. We have a direct hand in the quality, or excuse me, the quality sourcing of, which allows us a lot of assurances in the quality and the purity of these extracts. We're also able to maintain, not simply able at, rather, we are strictly abiding by GMP or good manufacturing practices standards. And so they often have to pass high number of high inspection, or rather high inspection or high quality inspections. My gosh. Okay. So high quality inspections. So always know that these products that we're producing and the natural extracts we are obtaining are with stringent quality standards behind them to create safe products, firstly, and of course, efficacious products as well. Now, the sister company, Ask Labs, is our preliminary research center. This is where we're harnessing those natural ingredients. We're harnessing the understanding of science as it is today, and we're marrying them together to create products in hair, body care, skincare, and nutraceuticals. It really is the heart of our formulations. And at Ask Labs, we're able to collaborate with a lot of different scientific bodies because we often see that Riman wants to be the best. We thusly must work with the best. You've seen that with our packaging designs with Pentagram and the partnership with Frederic Breton on the fragrances of the Bodolab line. But here we're also collaborating with the Korea Research Institute of Bioscience and Biotechnology to find other bioactives we can utilize in formula. We also collaborate with various universities. For those of you that attended convention, we announced some collaborations with universities stateside, such as Harvard or Stanford. So great platform for science here at Riman. But there's three separate branches of research at Ask Labs. That's our Cosmetic Research Institute, our Food Research Institute, and the Byungpul Research Institute. Now, namely, the Cosmetic Research Lab is where we are beginning all of the formulations for the ICD and the Bodolab line, looking at ways in which we can transform the typical understanding of skincare, hair, and body care. The Food Research Institute is entirely for lifening, looking at those functional foods and discovery of specific nutraceuticals for application as daily supplements. Most importantly, we have that Byungpul Research Institute. That's where we develop and continue to explore our heritage ingredient, giant byungpul, also illuminating novel derivatives of giant byungpul, unique growth patterns of the byungpul to influence what phytonutrients it contains. This is a crucial institute for us because that giant byungpul is patented by us. So no one else is going to do that research. It is up to us to find absolutely every way in which we can utilize the giant byungpul. Now, I'll then transition to our third product value because all of this ties into Jeju, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's heavily governmentally protected and respected in its beauty and in its resources, and we don't want to deplete those resources. So sustainability is an important third product value for us. It's not merely a practice, it is absolutely a promise. We are looking for every ways in which we can not only lessen our environmental impact, but to maintain our responsibility as a brand and to help you be a responsible consumer. Namely, some of the things that we have done is utilizing FSC packaging for all the outer boxes of the products. FSC, or the Forest Stewardship Council, basically oversees the responsible utilization of paper materials. And so we specifically have FSC mix boxes as all those outer packaging. And that means essentially that it's made out of mixed materials, both recycled and reutilized paper and wood stock, etc. So, excuse me. We also have the V label on all of the Bodolab products, and V label is an internationally recognized vegan and vegetarian certification mark, and it helps consumers quickly identify products that are vegan or vegetarian, thusly free from any animal byproducts or animal testing. And so it was specifically developed in 1996, and it's actually become one of the most trusted and recognized symbols globally for vegan identification. It appears on tens of thousands of certified products, not merely in personal care, it also can be in foodstuffs and materials, etc. So that is specific to our Bodolab line. Now, what's also unique here is what you might see as a headline that we had a specific partnership with a company known as CJ Biomaterials. We collaborated with them to utilize their PLA PHA packaging, which was fascinating. It was essentially a biodegradable alternative to plastic that completely broke down in the environment. And they helped us employ that on our original active cream, the booster and the serum EX, and on the Viatin oil mist. Of course, those were our products last year, but our collaboration with CJ Biomaterials continues, and we are continuing to look at ways in which we can transform our packaging to have that environmental friendliness, so to speak. You also may have seen that with the new Radiantsum launch. All three of those products are made out of PET plastic, which is entirely recyclable. Now, fourth, simple and holistic is our product value that really prioritizes the simplification of K-beauty. Now, we have rooted Riman in something unmovable, something fundamental in K-beauty. But we want to make sure it's not complex for someone to appreciate. We define basic ritual performances in the terms of cleansing, hydrating, and protecting, in which you merely need a product or two to satisfy each of those tenets and thusly have a good routine. But we also, of course, have pre-designed rituals for you to follow, the signature or advanced Riman ritual. And furthermore, all of our different offerings from the skincare, hair and body care to the nutrition are telling a similar story and achieving well-being. And that creates that holistic approach to self-care. Now, in the simplification via the K-beauty tenets, we of course start with cleansing. This removes daily impurities while also preparing the skin for further treatment for enhanced absorption of the topicals in your routine. Hydration is one of the most important steps. Realistically, not one tenet can exist without the others. Equally, they are important, but hydration was a main focus for Chairman On in his development of ICD. Your skin cells can contain upwards of 64% water, and if it's lacking in any degree, you may see this in skin dryness or dullness, flaking even, sebum overproduction and thusly acne formation, or fine line and wrinkle formation due to the structural binding of water in the dermis. So it's so simple to hydrate the skin, but profound in the aesthetic results you can get from that. Lastly, you seal in the deal by protecting all of those efforts with either UV protection or by reinforcing your skin's innate protection, which is your skin barrier. So whether it's utilizing our moisture layer sunscreen and stepping out confidently into the day, or utilizing an ingredient or product that has both water and oil ingredients to maintain your skin barrier function and strength, you're still protecting your underneath layers or your underneath layers. I don't know if that sounds right, but your layers underneath rather from any further damages. So all of this considered, that brings us to our last and final product value, which is a difference you'll love. So our entire tagline here at Riman is experience the difference, a difference you'll love. And what we mean by that is it's so easy to create collections of products that you never touch again. I'll always joke that I have 5 or 6 different moisturizers I bought and now they're collecting dust in my cabinet, and maybe 19 or 20 different lip products that are in purses, in drawers, in my car. I don't know where they are, but we still go to the store and we buy something different. Maybe the packaging is unique or it's popular on social media, but we buy it because of that difference and due to our lack of connection to what we already had. Riman is here to claim that we are that difference you're looking for, even if you weren't aware you were looking for one. But we believe these products will satisfy your innate curiosity to the extent you won't go looking for something else again. And of course, with that, the difference transcends the products as well, transcends the effects you see on your skin. The difference is the community as well. The Riman philosophy behind supporting the community and supporting direct connection between corporate and the field as well, getting your feedback, collaborating on product development. It's also the difference that you ultimately can become in your world. Our entire tagline here at Riman, or that was our tagline, rather our mission statement, excuse me, is that we are in the business of reimagining and redefining products and opportunities to inspire people to be the difference they seek in their worlds. That is our entire purpose, is not simply the products and transforming your skin. It's allowing you to practice self-care in a way that you feel transformed inside as well. And so that sums up our very first product university. I appreciate so much of you for being here today. For those of you that have heard that quite a few times through, thank you for hearing it again. And now, for those of you that are new, we actually always have an outline attached to every product university session. So I'm going to leave this QR up for a little bit. Feel free to scan it if you're on your desktop. We are also dropping the link to it in the chats. These outlines exist in the drive. So if ever you want to pre-download one of the outlines for an upcoming session, so you can write your notes or anything or study if you so wish, please feel free to do so. But I will always provide a QR at the end of each topic. So Reman product philosophy, that sets us up for everything. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of what goes through our brains before we create a product and before we share it with you. On that note, and in the connection of science and tradition, so those first two product values, next week's session will be on our heritage ingredients, that giant byungpool and our Jeju lava energy water, how both are important, how they're both sourced, the stories they're telling in the histories of use that they have, and marrying them together in our lava byungpool extract. How do we extract that? Also, I'd like to let you know that on session 7, which is on May 13th, we are going to have a Q&A session. So you all always have fantastic questions, things I never even think about, and I'd love for you to send in those questions. This Q&A session is a bit unique in that it is not live, so to speak. I am presenting, but the questions were pre-received because I want to be able to collaborate with HQ to get you certifiable answers, valid answers that really address whatever question you may have. So email any question you have and just mark it as Product University, Q&A, anything to that nature, to the ritual@riman.com inbox. That is my email as is. So if ever you have a question that isn't related to the Q&A session, still feel free to utilize that inbox. But that closes us out for today. So I wanted to thank you all again for being here. You made an effort. You made an impact, I hope, on your routine with Riman, on your self-care for the future starting today. And so many of you might be ready to eat your dinner or head to bed. And so for that, I thank you. I know that self-care and Riman and its products is no joke. For April Fools, I had to do something with a joke, but really it's no joke that you joined me today. It means a lot to me. So I am looking forward to the next couple of weeks. And without further ado, I will see you next Wednesday. Talk to you then.